Hey everyone, it's Tracy. Today we're going to be creating a Gingham Burlap Wreath that I just love how it turned out. I know I say that about all the projects, but I just love burlap and gingham and all of the banners and stuff together. So the first thing I did is I like to make these burlap wreaths, and what I do is I buy burlap on a bolt and I just cut strips and then I just tie it to a wire work wreath. I have this checkered black fabric and then this orange and white fabric that I am just going to cut strips of, and I just kind of lay it out, and I cut about a 2-inch strip of fabric, and I like to just rip the fabric, and I'm going to show you here how I did that. Is I just take my scissors and I cut about a 2-inch strip, and I'm going to grab the ruler and kind of show you. You can measure it if you want, but the longer you do it, you just can kind of just eyeball it. And then I just cut so many of them, and then I'm just going to rip them down the side and just give it that rugged edge. Okay, working with the black and cream color checkered fabric, I'm just going to be doing the same thing, just cutting every 2 inches and just going to tear into strips. Your fabric is really going to determine, depend on how wide your fabric is of how many strips you'll need to do. Okay, now I'm going to determine how big I want my tails of my fabric to stick out. So I'm just going to wrap it around the wire part of the wreath that will hold it. And I'm just going to tie it loosely into a knot so I can determine how much of the fabric I'm going to need to cut for each strip. Okay, I'm just going to take that strip apart and I'm going to hold it up to my other strips of fabric, kind of holding it up just to determine how much I am going to need to cut it. And I usually just do this, just kind of hold it all up just to kind of get me a pile of strips so that when I start tying, I can just start tying them as I go. Once I was doing this, I was cutting it with a I wasn't going to tear each one of them because it would have took too long to get the ragged edge. And then I remembered, oh yes, I cut them with pinking shears. So I got my pinking shears out of my little scissor little tin can and go to town. And I just like what the pinking shears it does. It gives it that jagged edge, and so it really just ties the whole rustic country project together. Okay, I am just going to start tying on these strips just around the wreath. I just start in no certain area, and I just tie them. I just take it around the back, bring it up through the middle of those burlap loops, and just tie it. And I just tie it one time because it holds. But if you want to tie it, if you want to double knot it, you can definitely do that as well. I'm just alternating the orange and the black just between every other loop or something like that. Just depends on how full or how much fabric you want to be seen through your actual burlap. And as I'm playing with it here, I just kind of determined that I want a little more color, and so I've decided to take to cut more strips and to tie 2 strips on each one so that it gives me a fuller wreath. And so in between where I tied one, I went back and tied another one where I had 2 fabric strips on one little knot. And as you can see here, it's just really making it more full, and just loving that. So I'm just taking my pinking shears and just going through and just cutting off some of those edges. Sometimes I don't get them tied evenly, so one is sticking out, so I just take my pinking shears and just clip those off. Okay, here I'm just pulling out the tails of the fabric and just kind of repositioning them where they kind of stick up or stick out, because I have some Aleene's Stiffen Quick Spray that I'm going to spray on the fabric. And what that does is it dries clear, but it gives it a stiffness to the fabric, or it gives it some body to it so it's not so limp. And so that way it just kind of holds some shape, and I just really like spraying that Aleene's Stiffen Quick spray on my wreaths like this. Okay, now I'm going to be working on the Boo banner, and these little pennants, these little banners I pick up at Hobby Lobby. I like to get them when they're on sale because I can get them half off, and I like them because it's like 2 little pieces stitched together, and so my paint won't bleed through or anything like that. So I'm just going to paint black on it, and I'm going to show you how I just paint up this little banner. Okay, to decorate the top of the banner, I just have some orange rickrack, and I just am taking my scissors and just clipping off the edge of it, and then I took the my little lighter and I just singed the edges, because then the little edges will not fray. Okay, once I painted the boo on there, I am just adding some little glitter, Martha Stewart, just some shimmer to it. Not a whole lot, that glitter doesn't flake, and just a little shimmer to it. Now I'm just having, I just have some jute string, and I'm just going to glue it to the back. I just take a piece of felt and just cut little strips to go on the back of it. It just kind of gives a little bit more stability to my actual jute in the back. So I'm just cutting off the edge, and I'm going to tie it onto my wreath. Once I determine where I want the banner to go, I just take that string and I tie it directly to the wire part of the wreath. I chose to add just a little bow at the top, but I've done other wreaths where I did not add anything else to it. I just decorated it with the fabric and put the banner on it, but I just felt that it needed a little something, so I'm just doing a double loop bow, and I'm just going to attach it with a black pipe cleaner to the center of the top of the wreath. Okay, I'm going to add Mod Podge to the edges of my burlap, the end of the edges, because that will kind of seal them on the edges so that they won't fray anymore. Okay, thanks for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this country burlap boo Halloween wreath that I did with you today. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. Leave me a comment. I always love reading them, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't, and we will see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.